All stand. Prisoners will remain standing. Prisoners at the bar. Beryl Jackson, is that your name?
Of course it is.
Gerald Prosser, is that your name? Is your name Gerald Prosser?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Beryl Jackson and Gerald Prosser, you stand jointly charged in that on December the 19th, 1973, at 24 Worley Road in the borough of Fulchester, you murdered Terence Finlay. How say you, Jackson?
Not guilty.
How say you, Prosser?
Not guilty.
Bloody liar.
Police witnesses will show that they pursued information received about the two defendants and in the light of this information subsequently charged Gerald Prosser and Beryl Jackson with this murder. A man, Terence Finlay, was found dead in a room. Now, neither of the defendants can deny that they were in the house, if not in that very room, the night Terence Finlay died. Nobody else was in the house, number 24 Worley Road, all that evening. The defendants will not deny this. Nobody can dispute this. And the prosecution will seek to prove that both the defendants had a reason, a motive for killing Terence Finlay. And the case of the Crown is that Terence Finlay's death was brought about by both the defendants acting in concert. I call my first witness, Dr. Thomas Ramsden.
Thomas Ramsden, please. This way, son.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Are you Dr. Thomas Ramsden?
I am.
And where do you live?
Springvale, Marley, near Fulchester.
And where do you practice?
I'm a consultant pathologist at Fulchester General Hospital.
Yes. Were you on the night of December the 19th called to a house in Worley Road, Fulchester?
I was.
And will you tell us what you found there?
The body of a man, later identified as Terence Finlay.
And what had caused his death?
Hemothorax, internal effusion of blood following an extremely deep wound penetrating the lungs made by a knife or some other sharp instrument.
Yes. Can I ask you to be more precise on that point, Doctor?
You can ask.
Does the knife that you see on the table seem to you like such an implement?
Yes, it does.
Exhibit 1, my lord.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, were there any other marks on the body?
Some bruises on the wrists and neck and some scrapes on the face.
Yes. Would you have any opinion, Doctor, as to how these bruises and scrapes could have been caused?
Possibly by a struggle.
A struggle with another person or persons?
Possibly.
Yes. Now, these injuries, these bruises or scrapes, can you say whether they occurred before or after death?
Before.
And at what time did death take place, so far as you're able to ascertain?
I examined the body at 4:10 a.m. I would say that death had occurred approximately 2 hours earlier.
Approximately 2 hours earlier. Thank you, Doctor. Now, this knife wound that caused the death of Terence Finlay, would you say that it took a great deal of strength to inflict such a wound?
I would say considerable strength. I can't be more precise than that.
Thank you, Dr. Ramsden.
Doctor, would you say that this knife thrust was too violent to have been made by a woman?
No, I would not say that.
But you said it...
I said it would need a good deal of strength for a woman to have done it. I did not say it was impossible.
Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Ramsden, was this knife an ordinary kitchen knife?
It was, yes.
Of the sort that any housewife might handle every day?
It was of a common make.
An ordinary, common kitchen knife as used by any housewife?
I think I've already answered that question.
Thank you, Doctor.
You would not say that it would be impossible for a woman to have struck this blow?
As I said before, not impossible, no.
Not impossible. Thank you, Dr. Ramsden. Does your lordship have any questions?
No. You may go, Doctor. Thank you for attending.
I call Police Constable Joseph Stanley.
Joseph Stanley, Police Constable, 252, stationed to Fulchester.
On the night of December the 19th, 1973, were you on duty?
I was on patrol in a panda car, yes, sir.
Yes, and did you receive a call to a house in Worley Road?
Yes, sir. May I refer to my notebook, my lord?
Yes, please.
I went to number 24 Worley Road, the house owned by Miss Beryl Jackson.
And what time was this?
11:55, sir.
What happened?
Miss Jackson came to the door and I told her there had been a complaint about the noise from her house. She said there hadn't been any noise, that they were only having a bit of a party.
A bit of a party?
Yes, sir.
And did you go into the house?
Yes, sir.
Pushed his way in.
And once inside, what did you see?
The accused, Beryl Jackson and Gerald Prosser, and Terence Finlay, sir.
Yes, and did any of them say anything to you?
When I told them there had been complaints of noise and shouting, they said it was just a friendly argument going on.
And what did you do?
I told them to keep the noise down, then I left.
Yes. Constable, how are these people dressed?
Sir? Well, just in ordinary clothes.
Not in night attire?
No, sir.
Yes. And all this took place around midnight, you say?
Yes, sir.
Did you go to the same house again that night?
Yes, I did, sir, in response to a 999 call at 5 minutes past 2.
2 hours later?
Yes, sir.
And did you go directly to the house on receipt of this call?
No, sir. My instructions by radio were to go to a telephone box at the corner of Worley Road and Bridge Street.
And did you do so, and was there a man waiting for you?
Yes, sir. The defendant, Gerald, processor.
And what did he say?
That a murder had taken place and that he'd left the house and come out to telephone the police.
And did he say who had been murdered?
Terence Finlay, sir.
And did he say who had committed the murder?
He said, I don't know what came over her. She went mad.
You rotten little liar. He's nothing but a
Madam!
liar.
Be silent! Yes, Mr. Golding.
Did Prosser say whom he meant?
Not by name at that time.
What did you do next?
I called in, reported what I'd been told, requested assistance. Then I went to number 24 Worley Road with Gerald Prosser.
And what did you find there?
The dead man lying on the kitchen floor and the knife on the floor beside him.
Yes. How was he dressed, the dead man?
He was in pajamas.
And did you see the other defendant, Beryl Jackson?
She was in the front room, sitting in a chair.
Did you speak to her?
I said something like, "Are you all right?" when I first saw her.
And what did she say to that?
She made no reply.
Did you think this curious?
No, didn't have time to think about it at the time. I had my duties, ringing for a doctor, notifying the station.
Yes. And did Beryl Jackson speak to you at all at this time?
No, sir.
No. And what did you do then?
I locked the front door and the back door, then I awaited assistance.
Yes, in this waiting period, did Gerald Prosser say anything to you?
He said that he was a lodger in the house and that the dead man was a lodger in the house, and he said again, "I don't know what came over her."
I don't know what came over her. I see. Thank you, Constable Stanley.
Constable, you say you saw Miss Jackson sitting in the front room of the house, that you spoke to her and that she did not reply.
Yes, madam.
Yes, well, did it occur to you that she might be in a severe state of shock?
I didn't think about it at the time.
Well, it is a fact, is it not, that later a doctor was called and Miss Jackson was given sedatives?
I believe so, madam. I saw the doctor give her some tablets.
You saw her take them?
Yes, madam.
So it is likely, is it not, that she was, in fact, in a state of shock when you saw her sitting in the front room of the house?
I can't say for sure, madam. I don't know.
You say you don't know, Constable, but this woman was plainly in a state of shock, was she not?
I can't say, madam.
Well, didn't you make sure?
Well, she looked all right.
Yes, but she wasn't all right, was she?
I don't know whether she was or not.
She was sitting still in the front room with a dead man in the house, and she was incapable of answering when you spoke to her. Well, doesn't that strike you as extremely odd?
Well, yes, I suppose so, but I didn't have time to think about it at the time.
I see. You did nothing. Thank you, Constable.
Constable, you say that Gerald Prosser telephoned you on a 999 call.
Yes, sir.
Did he seem to you to be anxious to help the police in their inquiries?
Well, yes, I got that impression.
Now, did he say anything else when you took him back into 24 Worley Road?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question, sir.
Well, did he not say where he had been at the time the murder took place?
No, sir, not to me, sir.
Thank you, Constable.
Does your lordship have any questions?
No, thank you, officer.
I call Inspector Buzzard. Inspector Buzzard, you were called to 24 Worley Road on the night of the 19th of December of last year, were you not?
I was.
Yes. What and whom did you find there?
The dead body of Terence Finlay. Also present in the house were Beryl Jackson and Gerald Prosser and Constable Stanley.
Yes. Did you examine the body?
I did, sir.
And what did you find?
A stab wound. The pathologist later confirmed that it caused the death of Terence Finlay.
And did you talk to the accused?
Yes, sir, both of them.
And can you tell me what they said to you?
Yes, sir. May I consult my notebook?
Yes,
Thank you,
please.
Lord. I talked first to Gerald Prosser. I asked him what had happened. He said that he'd been out in the back place and that he'd come back into...
Back, please.
the house has an outside toilet, my lord.
Yes, go on.
And that he'd come back into the kitchen and found Terence Finlay lying on the floor and the knife lying beside him.
Liar.
Mrs. Dixon, your client is being very foolish. She should be told that she could be removed from the court.
Yes, my lord, I'll speak to her.
If you interrupt again, you will be taken out of the court.
Yes, Inspector.
I then asked him if he had touched the knife, and he said he had not.
Why did you ask that?
Fingerprints, sir. I knew they'd have to be checked, and I wanted to ask first.
And were there, in fact, fingerprints on the knife?
Yes, sir. A report from police laboratories shows prints of all three parties concerned. Those of the dead man and those of both defendants.
Yes, fingerprint identification is agreed, my lord, I think.
Yes.
Both defendants, I see. And what else did you do?
I asked Prosser where Miss Jackson was when he came into the kitchen from the back place, and he said that she was standing in the middle of the room looking down at the body.
Did he say anything more?
Yes, he said that he'd asked Beryl Jackson why she had done it, and that she had said he asked for it.
Just that? he asked for it.
Yes, sir.
Inspector Buzzard, you say that the defendant, Gerald Prosser, declared that the other defendant, Beryl Jackson, told him that she had killed Terence Finlay because he asked for it.
Correct.
Yes. Did he say anything else?
Yes, sir, he made a longish statement.
A verbal one?
Yes, sir. He said, I knew there was going to be trouble tonight. I felt it in my bones, so I was not surprised at what she had done. I told her that she was playing with fire, but she wouldn't listen to me. So when I came in from the back place and saw him lying there on the floor, I was not really surprised.
Yes, that statement was made to you on the night of the murder, was it not?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And did you speak to Beryl Jackson on the scene of the crime?
I did, sir. As a result of what Prosser had told me, I told her that I was arresting her, and I cautioned her. She made no reply.
And did you speak to her subsequently?
Yes, sir. On the 23rd of December, I charged her with the murder of Terence Finlay. I cautioned her, and she said, nothing to say, I want a lawyer.
Yes. I think it's right that you took from the accused the clothes they were wearing on the night of the murder and sent them for analysis.
Yes, I did.
Yes. And according to the agreed forensic report, Exhibit 3, my lord, there were traces of the dead man's blood on the clothing of both of them.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And as we've heard, the doctor found upon medical examination of the defendants that they had minor scratches and bruises on the wrist in the case of Prosser and on the neck in the case of Beryl Jackson.
That is so, sir.
Did you speak later to Gerald Prosser?
Yes, sir. I saw him again on the 27th. I told him I was still making inquiries into the death of Terence Finlay. I told him that my inquiries had shown that the dead man, Terence Finlay, had drawn from his bank the sum of £3,000 over the last 6 months.
And did he make any reply?
Yes, sir. He said, what's that got to do with me? I said, I understand that for the past 3 months you've been unemployed and drawing Social Security benefits. He said, yes, so what? I said, have you got any savings or any money in the bank? He replied, you must be joking. I then said, I understand you've been gambling heavily and that you've lost £1,000 in September and October. Where did you get the money from?
And what did he say?
That he had won the money gambling on a course and that he'd lost it gambling in a betting shop.
And what did you do?
I said I was not satisfied with his answers and I was charging him with murder. I then formally charged him with the murder of Terence Finlay. I cautioned him and he replied, this is a big mistake you're making, Mr. Buzzard.
Yes. Did you also make some inquiries into Miss Jackson's financial position?
Yes,
and do
sir.
you produce her bank statements, Exhibit 4, my lord? They are agreed documents.
Yes, sir.
What did they show?
That in the 6 months prior to Finlay's death, she had put £2,000 in separate sums of £500 into her bank account.
Did you subsequently question her about this money?
Yes, sir. I saw her again in the presence of a solicitor, and I questioned her with his permission.
And what did she say?
That she'd saved it up.
That she'd saved it up. Yes. Thank you, Inspector Buzzard.
Inspector Buzzard, when you questioned Miss Jackson about the £2,000, she answered you without any hesitation.
Yes, madam, she said she'd saved it.
That she had saved it over many years.
Yes, I think she said that.
And that it was the fruit of much labour, much scrimping and saving, and nothing to do with Terence Finlay's money at all.
Yes, madam, she did say that.
Yes, thank you.
Inspector Buzzard, you have had from my client nothing but assistance in this case, have you not?
I'm looking at evidence, sir, that's all.
It is true, is it not, that it was Gerald Prosser who went out and telephoned the police to come to the scene of the crime? It was Gerald Prosser who went out and telephoned you, was it not?
That is so, sir.
Thank you. And once inside the house, 24 Wally Road, it was Gerald Prosser who volunteered a statement that he had seen the other defendant, Beryl Jackson, standing over the body of Terence Finlay.
Yes, he said that.
At all times, he helped the police, did he not?
That is so.
And is it not true that he accompanied you to the police station at his request and not at yours?
Yes.
Is it not true that you thanked him for all his help and allowed him to go?
Yes, sir, it is.
And is it not true that you did not arrest and charge Gerald Prosser until almost 1 month after the murder?
I arrested him, sir, when my inquiries were completed.
Yes, sir. What form did these inquiries take, Inspector?
Well, I had information from bookmakers and various people on racetracks, sir.
In what way did you record this information?
Well, it was given to me verbally, sir.
And you noted it down?
Yes, sir.
In your police notebook?
No, sir.
No? Well, where then?
On a piece of paper, sir.
On a piece of paper? What kind of paper?
On the back of an envelope, sir.
On the back of an envelope. And you subsequently noted it down in your police notebook?
Yes, sir.
I see. Do you use this regular way of notating evidence on the night of the death of Terence Finlay?
Well, sir, you see...
You didn't see fit to take your police notebook to the scene of this very serious crime?
Sir, I drove there, sir, and my police notebook was in my other suit.
There wasn't much good there, was it, Inspector?
I took notes, sir.
You seem to have something against the correct and official way of doing things, Inspector.
No, sir.
You just jot down what witnesses say on the back of an old envelope or whatever comes to hand and then transcribe it later.
In some cases, yes.
Well, in the case of Gerald Prosser and the other defendant, Beryl Jackson.
Yes, I did.
You usually take evidence in this way on the backs of old envelopes and so on.
No, sir.
But you did on this occasion.
Well, these people struck me as being very smart, very fly, very reticent. You bring out a big black police notebook and they dry up.
Interesting theory.
That is not a theory, sir.
I see. Now that you are an inspector, you do things your own way. You can't be bothered with all this official procedure nonsense. Is that the way of it?
No, sir.
How long is it you've had your present rank?
Sir?
You see, I'd like to establish whether this is the first important case you've taken on as detective inspector.
Yes, sir, it is.
Mr. Lotterby, I'm afraid I can't see where it is you're trying to lead us. Are you suggesting that Detective Inspector Buzzard's evidence was improperly gathered, or that he was overzealous to the point of prejudice, or both?
All I'm saying, my lord, is that Mr. Buzzard did not keep to official procedure. And the statements he's read out from his police notebook are, in fact, transcripts, and not the thing itself. I just thought the jury should bear that in mind.
Oh, I'm sure they'll do that. Yes, let's get on.
To resume, Inspector, you say you discovered that my client had been gambling heavily and had lost £1,000, and this made you suspicious.
Yes.
Yes, well, he explained to you that he wanted the races, didn't he?
Yes.
Why didn't you accept that?
Details of winnings at racetracks are very hard to trace, sir.
Oh, that's not an answer, Inspector. People do win sometimes at the races, do they not?
Sometimes.
Thank you so much, Inspector.
Inspector, you were no doubt as fascinated as I was at my learned friend's interesting dissertation on the use or misuse of envelopes. But once again, the laboratory report found that the fingerprints on the handle of the knife were those of both defendants.
Yes, sir.
And this is, of course, not disputed by my two learned friends. And did you find that the deceased had, in the space of the 6 months prior to his death, drawn out £3,000 from his account, and that at that same time, the two defendants had between them such a sum?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Inspector. I have no further questions, my lord.
You may leave the witness box, Mr. Buzzard.
Thank you, my lord.
My lord, that concludes the case for the prosecution.
I call Miss Beryl Jackson. You are Miss Beryl Jackson of 24 Worley Road.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the owner of 24 Worley Road?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
Is there a mortgage, or is the house fully paid for?
Oh, fully paid for, ma'am.
And how long have you resided at that address?
9 years, ma'am.
Did you pay for the house in one lump sum 9 years ago?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Very well. And now you obtain an income from what?
Well, I take in a boarder or two, and I have a part-time job as a shop assistant.
Quite. And Mr. Prosser is one of your boarders, is he not?
Not anymore, he isn't. I wouldn't have that lousy little...
Miss Jackson, your feelings are very understandable, but you must control them.
Yes, well, it's very hard, ma'am.
Yes, even so, you must control yourself, Miss Jackson, otherwise I shall have to interrupt, and I'm sure neither of us wants that, do we?
No, sir.
No, very well.
So the position is that at the time that Terence Finlay met his death, Gerald Prosser and yourself were the only two people in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Jackson, tell us, in your own words, what happened that evening.
Well, like the young policeman said, he came to the house to ask my two boarders to keep the noise down.
What was the cause of that noise?
Well, they were arguing about football.
In very loud voices?
Oh, yes, they always did. They couldn't agree about anything. I don't know why. They just couldn't.
They argued a great deal?
Oh, yes, all the time. If it wasn't one thing, it was another.
Just so. And then what happened?
Well, Terry, he said he was tired and he went to bed.
What time would this be?
Oh, just after the policeman left. About 12:15.
Please go on, Miss Jackson.
Well, we just sat there, Gerald and me, reading the papers and talking.
Talking? What about?
Well, he was doing all the talking. He was going on about Terry. He was still mad with him. I was just reading the papers. I wasn't really interested.
And what happened then?
Well, Terence came downstairs in his pyjamas. He said he couldn't sleep. He was going to make a pot of tea.
And did he make a pot of tea?
Well, no, because they started arguing again.
Who began it? Do you recall?
Yes, he did.
Well, what did he say?
Oh, he said Terence was too old, you know.
Would you please be more specific, Miss Jackson? Now, I know this is very painful for you, but we must know what happened.
Well, he said Terence was too old for it. You know.
No, Miss Jackson, we do not know, and you will have to tell us what he did say.
Well, he said Terence was, well, too old for the ladies, sir.
Ah, I see.
And what happened then?
Well, they started fighting.
How did that happen?
Well, one minute they were slagging each other, and the next minute they were fighting.
Now, let us take this a step at a time. You say they were slagging each other. What were they saying?
Well, he was saying that Terence was too old, like I said, and Terence was saying he was a poncy little layabout that never did an honest day's work in his life.
And on that they began to fight?
Well, yes, Jerry hit him first, and then Terence got hold of him and threw him against the wall, and then Jerry picked this knife up off the dresser, and, well, I tried to get between them and stop them, and the next thing I knew was that Terence fell back and there was all this blood coming out of him. And
at any time at all, did you have the knife in your hand?
No, never.
And at any time at all, was Gerald Prosser out of the room?
No.
And did you at any time use the words, he asked for it, in relation to the dead man?
Oh, no, I never did.
Miss Jackson, did you ever either intend that Terence Finlay should die or take part in any plot to kill him?
No, never.
And finally, Miss Jackson, much play has been made of your having a large sum of money recently put into your bank. Tell me, where did that money come from?
I had it by me from before.
From how long before?
Well, 9 years ago, before I moved here.
Yes, I see. So you had not only sufficient monies to pay for your house, but you had other monies too. The money, in fact, that you put into your bank 3 months ago, the £2,000 which the prosecution has made so much of.
Yes, ma'am.
You will have to tell us where that money came from, Miss Jackson.
I earned it, ma'am.
How did you earn it?
I was a prostitute, ma'am.
Join us tomorrow in the Crown Court when the case continues of the Queen against Jackson and Prosser.
Miss Jackson, I have to ask you if you feel able to continue.
Yes, I'm all right, sir.
What was that?
I'm all right, sir. I was just a bit upset, you see.
Yes, I think I see. Very well, Mrs. Dixon.
Today in the Crown Court at Fulchester, Beryl Jackson and Gerald Prosser stand charged with the murder of Terence Finlay. Inspector Buzzard has given evidence of finding money in the bank account of Beryl Jackson, money she's finding it difficult to account for. She has also disclosed a secret and shameful episode of her life before she met Terence Finlay, a secret known only too well to Gerald Prosser. Beryl Jackson now continues with her evidence.
Miss Jackson, I know this is very painful for you, but I must question you further about this matter.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you've told us that you were a prostitute. Where was that?
In Manchester. I have 3 convictions of soliciting, if you need proof.
And did you earn a lot of money in that way of life?
Yes, I did earn a lot of money. I lost a lot as well.
Why do you say lost?
Well, because there are plenty of lice around who'll take it off you if you're fool enough to let them.
I see. And what kind of money did you have when you left that way of life?
Well, I'd saved up. I had £7,000. I paid £3,000 for the house, and I put the rest by me.
And what did you do with it?
Well, I kept it in a deposit box.
Why was that?
Well, I didn't want the income tax to know. Well, I couldn't have told them how I got it, could I?
No, but 3 months ago you did put £2,000 into your bank account.
Yeah, well, it was the last 2,000 I had left.
I see. Tell me, Miss Jackson, why did you give up such a lucrative way of life?
Well, I was only in it by accident. I was brought up in an orphanage. I didn't have any relatives or friends. I got talked into it. I was only 17 when it happened.
Can you tell me how you got talked into it?
Oh, sweet talk by a fella. Well, it happens all the time. He says he loves you, spends a lot of money on you, treats you smashing. Before you know where you are, you're out working for him. It's as simple as that.
And that is what happened to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask you, Miss Jackson, what kind of sums you were earning 9, 10 years ago when you were pursuing this way of life?
£300 a week, sir.
£300 a week?
Yes, sir.
Extraordinary. Yes, Mrs. Dixon?
My lord? Miss Jackson, you say you gave up this way of life. Why was that?
Because I was sick up to here with the game and the people in it. I saved my money, every penny of it, and I got out. I moved to an area where nobody knew me. I bought the house. I even got a part-time job in a shop. I had a good life for the first time ever. I had people being nice to me for the first time ever in the whole thing.
Miss Jackson, we are attempting to get at the truth of a very serious matter, the death of a man. If you do feel able to continue.
Yes, I'm all right, sir. I'm all right.
Good.
Miss Jackson, did you ever take any money from Terence Finlay?
Never. Just the odd present, that's all.
Once again, did you ever conspire with anybody else to do harm to Terence Finlay?
No, never.
Thank you, Miss Jackson.
Yes, Mr. Lotterby, I think you are entitled to ask some questions, if you wish.
I am obliged. Miss Jackson, this £2,000 you say you saved up from your 9 years as a prostitute, what was the reason you gave us for not putting it in the bank earlier?
I didn't want the income tax to find out.
Ah, yes, of course. You wanted to defraud the income tax authorities.
Well, not defraud them, but I'd like to see anyone declare a thing like that.
Nevertheless, you didn't tell them.
No.
You spent the money as you needed it. Was that how it was?
Yes.
And in the last 3 months before the death of Terence Finlay, you put your savings in the bank. At the same time at which Terence Finlay drew out his savings. Doesn't that strike you as a coincidence?
I don't know what it was. I just did it.
You say you only took presents from Terence Finlay. What form did these presents take?
Well, he bought me a few bits of jewellery. He brought me this.
He was a man who was a lodger in your house who paid you rent, and yet he felt he should give you presents of jewellery.
Well, he liked to do it.
But no gifts of money, none at all.
Definitely not.
Oh, well, you wouldn't have taken it had he offered,
My
would you?
lord, I protest.
Yes, Mrs. Dixon. But I don't think that anything that Mr. Lotterby can say will damage the reputation of your client any more than she has damaged it herself already. However, perhaps Mr. Lotterby might be able to rephrase it. Yes.
You say you did not accept presents of money from the dead man, but your deposits into your bank are in 4 £500 units, and his withdrawals from his bank are in 6 £500 units. Now, how do you explain that?
I don't know how to explain it. I don't know anything about it.
Yes, now, are these dates the same, withdrawal and deposit?
Not exactly, my lord.
Well, in what way are they going to be inexact?
Well, a week separates one, 2 days another, 6 days another, and 2 weeks another. And, of course, there are the 2 other withdrawals of £500 each, which are not accounted for.
Hardly conclusive.
Perhaps not, my lord, but I am seeking to establish not only that the defendant had considerable monies from the dead man, but that these monies were the prime reason which motivated...
Yes, I do understand.
Thank you, my lord. How long had Terence Finlay been a lodger in your house?
About a year.
Was he a quiet man?
Very quiet. He was a very quiet man.
Did he work regularly?
Yes, he had a job in the office at the dairy.
Did he drink to excess at all?
Well, he liked a glass of whiskey.
I'm asking Miss Jackson, did he drink to excess?
Well, now and then, I suppose so.
Now, what was his behaviour on those occasions?
Well, he was a bit out of order sometimes.
Loud and aggressive, quite different from the man he'd normally be by day.
Well, yes, he changed when he had a drink in
was he changed in this fashion when he came back from the public house on the night of his death?
Well, yes, He'd had a few drinks. He was a bit loud, yeah. Well, he was arguing with him over there.
But not with you.
Oh, no.
You're sure of that?
Oh, positive.
He was not angry with you about the fact that you had given him his notice to quit his room that weekend?
Well...
Did he or did he not argue about that?
Well, no, not really.
You had given him his notice to quit, had you not?
Well, in a way...
In a very definite way, madam. When you, my client, and the deceased happened to coincide in the Farringdon Arms, Terence Finlay told everyone that you had given him his notice to quit, and you did not deny it, did you?
Well, so what?
No. Is that true?
Well, yes.
Now, Miss Jackson, what have you to tell us of the conversation between Terence Finlay and yourself on his return from the public house?
Well, nothing. Well, he said nothing. I told him he had to go. I made up my mind. He knew why.
But we do not know why, Miss Jackson.
He was a bit struck on me. I didn't want... Well, he thought just because... Well, I told him he had to go, that's all.
In the pub, the night before his death, Terence Finlay also said that he and his landlady had been close friends and she was casting him off like an old glove. Now, that's right, isn't it? That's what you were doing. You were getting rid of him like an old glove.
No, I was not. I just didn't want to get involved, that's all. I just had enough of that kind of thing in my life. I just wanted a bit of peace.
You knew by then, of course, that he had no money left, none at all.
No, I did not.
There had been a quarrel that night, a very loud quarrel, loud enough to bring the police banging on the door.
Well, that's nothing to do with me. I wasn't arguing, they were.
I put it to you that Terence Finlay couldn't sleep. Such was his anger that he got up out of bed, came downstairs, upbraided you with taking his money from him, and this developed into a fight just between the two of you.
That's not true. That's just his lies.
Far from intervening, as you have said, you stuck a knife into him.
That's not true.
Well, it is true, isn't it, Miss Jackson, that you have known Gerald Prosser for many years?
What's that got to do with this?
You lived with him for a period of 4 years in Manchester at an address in Trafford Park.
Yes.
Were you living together as man and wife at that time?
Yes.
Did you... Well, let me put this as delicately as I can. You had a business enterprise together, did you not?
If you're asking me, was he my ponce? Yes, he was, the rotten little swine. Yes, he was.
Miss Jackson, did Gerald Prosser pay you a regular rent for his room at your house?
Oh, you must be joking.
No, please answer the question. It is most seriously asked.
No, he did not. He said he would. Like a fool, I believed him, but he didn't because he'd never paid for anything in his life.
Did you not ask Gerald Prosser to come back and live with you? Did you not plead with him, saying you were lonely, you wanted company, and did he not come as a result of your plea?
No, he did not, the four-eyed little git.
You deny that you asked him to come and live with you?
Yes, I do. He came to the door, he was skint, he just got out of the nick.
That will do, Miss Jackson.
No, it won't do, Mr. Lotterby. You've put your version of the story. The witness must be allowed to put hers, even if your witness, Mr. Prosser, is prejudiced.
Very well, my lord.
Go on.
I don't care who knows it. He was skint and I took him in.
Whatever the reason or circumstances, Gerald Prosser was a lodger at your house for 6 months, was he not?
About that time.
I put it to you that it was his presence that made you decide to get rid of Terence Finlay.
That'll be the day. I told him that as soon as he got in on his feet, he'd have to go. He knew I didn't want him around, thieving.
Yes, Miss Jackson. Answer the question, but nothing more.
Yes.
I suggest to you that there was an argument, but Gerald Prosser took no part in it, being in the outside lavatory at the time. And when he came back in, Terence Finlay was already dead on the floor.
They were fighting and I tried to separate them.
I suggest to you that Terence Finlay came downstairs, found you alone, upbraided you with taking his money from him and giving him his notice to quit, and that you, in your rage, you, madam, you picked up that knife and you drove it into his chest.
If you believe that, you'll believe anything. What do you think prostitutes keep ponces for? They keep ponces to protect them. Oh, Jerry might look a little pansy, but he's a right murderous bastard when he has to be. I've seen him take on fellas twice his size, do them before he even knew what hit them. That's what it was like. He did Terence Finlay before he even knew what hit him.
Miss Jackson, you have been very frank with us. You have admitted that you earned large sums of money by soliciting. You've also told us that Gerald Prosser was at one time your protector, or ponce.
He was, till I found him out.
Yes, quite. And you said one other thing. You said that Gerald Prosser was, and I quote your words, a right murderous bastard when it was necessary.
So he was.
Now, as to yourself, have you ever used any weapon in a fight at any time in your life?
No, never.
Would you describe yourself as a violent person?
Well, no. Well, when I was on the game, I had him for that.
Now, you've said that when Gerald Prosser came to you, he was penniless. But we know that he had a large sum of money, £1,000 to be exact, a very short time later, because the police have brought evidence to show that he lost such a sum to local bookmakers. Do you have any knowledge of how he could have come by this money?
Yes, Terence Finlay gave it him.
You are sure of this?
Yes, I was there when he gave it to him.
Really, my lord, this is material for evidence in chief, not re-examination.
Yes, I agree, Mr. Lotterby. As it's only arisen just now, you may cross-examine on it later if you wish.
I'm obliged, my lord.
Mrs. Dixon?
You say that you were present when Terence Finlay gave Gerald Prosser £1,000.
Yes, I was. He gave him £500 at a time.
And you were present on each occasion?
Yes.
What was the reason for this gift?
Oh, it wasn't a gift. Gerald had talked Terence into investing his money in a gambling system. He said he had inside information on the horses. Well, Jerry dazzled him with a lot of talk because he's good at that. Well, Terence didn't know anything about racing and he just fell for it.
And how did it come about that you saw this investment take place?
Well, Terence asked me my opinion about it.
And what did you tell him?
I told him to get his money and put it back in the bank where it belonged.
But he ignored this advice and gave Gerald Prosser the money.
Yes, he did.
And Prosser subsequently lost it all?
Yes, every damn penny of it.
Thank you, Miss Jackson.
Was anybody else present when this transaction of which you speak took place?
Just the three of us.
So apart from your word, we have no proof that it ever took place?
Well, it did. Well, if Terence was still alive, he'd tell you.
Terence Finlay is not alive, madam. That's what this case is all about. And this evidence of yours is pure fabrication. No such transaction ever took place.
It did.
So you say.
Miss Jackson, these sums of money that you say Terence Finlay invested, do you know if he protected his investments in any way?
I don't know how you mean.
Well, did he go to dog tracks or race meetings with Gerald Prosser, to your knowledge?
Oh, no. Jerry was too clever for that. He went on the days that Terence was working.
So, you say Prosser and the dead man had this arrangement?
Yes, they did.
Well, did Terence Finlay never talk about going to the police at any time?
Why should he? I mean, what for?
Well, he had given Prosser considerable sums of money and lost them. Did he never suspect he'd been the victim of a confidence trick?
Well, if he did, he never said anything to me about it.
Really? I put it to you that he was the victim of a double confidence trick, Miss Jackson, set by yourself and your fellow defendant, Prosser.
Oh, that's not true. It's not true.
I put it to you that it is very true indeed, that you knew the exact details of the transaction between these two men, that Prosser never used his £1,000 to place bets on any racetrack, but lost it in the betting shops, and that you were yourself party to that plan to fleece Terence Finlay of his life savings.
No,
Thank you, my lord. I have no further question.
Mrs. Dixon, no. You may return to the dock, Miss Jackson.
That concludes the case for the defendant, Miss Beryl Jackson.
Mr. Lotterby.
My lord, I have only two witnesses, the defendant, Gerald Prosser, and Mr. Thomas Seed. With your permission, I should like firstly to call Mr. Seed. My learned friends have indicated they have no objection.
Oh, well, if no one objects, yes, very well.
I am obliged, my lord. I call Thomas Seed.
Thomas Seed, please. Just come and say, sir.
What is your religion?
Church of England.
Take the book in your right hand and read aloud the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Thomas Seed of 265 Carlton Road, Upper Norwood, London, South-East 17.
Yes, sir.
And what is your occupation, Mr. Seed?
I'm a professional gambler.
In what way does a professional gambler differ from an amateur one?
He wins a lot more, sir. No, well, the thing is that I do it as a living, sir.
For how many years have you followed this occupation?
25 years, sir.
So you are well known on the turf.
I think I can safely say that, yes, sir.
Do you know Gerald Prosser?
Yes, sir, I do.
How well do you know him?
Known him 20 years, sir. Well, he's a gambler. He's a bit of a mug punter, sir. As long as I've known him, he's always had money to lose. He's lost it and all.
You've known him to lose large sums of money?
Oh, yes, indeed, sir, yeah. Yeah, well, he's a bit of a plunger, sir. You know, if he's losing, he chases his losses, and you shouldn't do that, sir.
No doubt. Did you see him last November?
November, sir? Yes, at the Leicester races.
Now, what happened on that occasion?
Well, he came up to me and he said he had a good stake and he wanted me to provide the know-how.
To tell him which horse to back for a percentage, would that be it?
Yeah, well, that's the sort of idea, sir. He said he was fed up with spewing his cash, for losing, sir, and he wanted me to, well, like I said, help him.
Did you do so?
Well, I didn't want no percentage deal, sir. I mean, that way you're always in the hands of the other fellow, and that's never no good, is it, sir? No, so I said, all right, I will give you some horses, but I want the cash down. 20 quid, pounds at a time. What you do afterwards, that's your business. That's what I told him, sir.
And did he accept this?
Oh, yes, sir, yes. He gave me quite a few quid, sir. £200 in all.
Do you have any idea of his winnings overall?
No, sir, I don't.
But they must have been considerable.
Well, he went on paying me, that's all I know, sir.
So you took it that he was winning money at the racecourse?
Well, yeah, otherwise he wouldn't have gone on paying me, would he?
Thank you, Mr. Seed.
Mr. Seed, you say that you never saw Gerald Prosser actually put money on a horse.
Well, not actually saw him, no, sir, no. I mean, there are thousands milling around the tote and the bookies, so, you know, you don't really see so much. Well, I mean, you're too busy looking after your own business to check on what other people are doing, sir.
Yes. Mr. Seed, on these occasions that you saw Gerald Prosser at the racetracks, did he ever make any reference to having a partner in these enterprises?
No, sir, he didn't.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure, sir.
Mr. Seed, do you keep a diary?
A diary, sir? Oh, bless you, no. No, I pride myself that I can remember most dates from memory.
Yes. What date is the Leicester meeting of which you spoke?
The Silver Fox Handicap, sir, the 19th.
The 19th of November?
Yes, sir.
And that is when you say Gerald Prosser approached you?
That's when it was, yes, sir.
Would you care to reconsider that statement?
No, sir, no, I'm sure it was then.
It was not a month later at Toaster?
No, sir, I don't think so.
You're not sure?
I'm sure, sir.
Yes, because you see, if it was after the death of Terence Finlay on the 19th of December when Gerald Prosser spoke to you, you see?
Yeah, but I am sure it was at Leicester, sir.
Mr. Seed, what's the date of the Newbury races in June 1973?
18th and 19th, sir.
No, Mr. Seed. It's the 13th and 14th. The Cheltenham Gold Cup?
15th of March, 1973.
Correct. The flat meeting in May at Ayr?
The 14th.
No. The 11th and 12th of May are the correct dates, Mr. Seed. It's the jumping on the 14th.
Yeah, well, sir, I knew there was a meeting at Ayr that day, sir. Look, I could answer all that, sir. I mean,
yes, is it true, Mr. Seed, that you have recently been ill?
Oh, I was in dock, yes.
Quite seriously ill?
Well, yeah, I was.
Yes. And is it that you've only recently taken up your work again after a long layoff?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I know all these dates. It's just that I get these headaches, you see.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Seed. I have no further questions.
Well, it's just that my memory isn't quite what it was, my lads, since I've been in the hospital.
Yes, that's all right. I'm sure we all understand, Mr. Seed.
Yeah, well, I'm very sorry about that.
Yes, that's all right. You may go, unless Mr. Lotterby has any more questions.
Oh, no, my lord. I now call Gerald Prosser.
What is your religion?
Roman Catholic.
Take the Bible in your right hand and read aloud the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Gerald Prosser of 24 Worley Road, Fulchester?
Yes, I am.
What is your occupation, Mr. Prosser?
Well, I'm unemployed at present.
Now, Mr. Prosser, I want you to cast your mind back to August of last year. What happened then?
I came out of strange ways.
Just a minute. Mr. Lotterby, you must know what this means.
I trust I do, my lord. The jury already knows that my client has served a prison sentence. I cannot see any point in attempting to conceal the details.
Well, the decision is yours, but I'm sure your client will be aware of the possible prejudice.
My lord, it is my client who has insisted that he be utterly frank with this court.
Very well. Go on.
Thank you, my lord. Now, you said that you came back out of Strangeways Prison in August of last year. What did you do then?
Well, I was without friends, and I knew that Beryl, Miss Jackson, was living at Worley Road, so I went to see her.
With what object in view?
Well, with the object of borrowing a little money from her to tide me over my difficulties.
And what sort of reception did you get?
Very warm.
Liar! Liar!
Miss Jackson!
Will you please shut up?
Mrs. Dixon.
My lord, my client gives me her full assurance that she will not make one more interruption of any kind.
Does she? Do you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Lotterby.
Thank you, my lord. Sorry about that, Mr. Prosser.
Oh.
Now, you said that Miss Jackson received you warmly.
Oh, so she did, sir. Yeah.
Tell the court what happened then.
Well, I told her my position. Not that she needed telling, because she'd been to the Nick, strange ways, a couple of times to see me.
She had visited you in prison?
Oh, yes, yeah. So I told her how I was fixed. I'd not got any money or anything, and that I wanted a hole out somewhere till I could sort myself out.
Well, what was Miss Jackson's reaction to that?
Well, she said I could stay, but that there was a difficulty.
And what was that?
Well, she said that she had this mug staying with her.
Mug? Is that the word she used?
Well, it's what she'd call any fellow who was situated like he was.
And how was he situated?
Oh, well, he was living with her, going case, man and wife. There were just the two of them in the place. She said to me, she said, you've got to be patient. She said, he's got a bit of money and I'm getting it out of him, but you'll just have to be patient.
That is what she said?
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. And I said, well, how long's that going to take? And she said, I'll get rid of him. Don't you worry. One way or another.
Those were her words?
Those were her words, exactly.
Join us tomorrow in the Crown Court for the final day of the Queen against Prosser and Jackson. Today in the Crown Court at Fulchester, the trial continues of Beryl Jackson and Gerald Prosser, charged with the murder of Terence Finlay. Gerald Prosser has accused Beryl Jackson of getting money from Finlay and murdering him. She has accused him of exactly the same offence. Both were living in the same house as the dead man, and the prosecution alleges they both jointly and severally had money from Terence Finlay, and that jointly and severally they murdered him. The examination of Gerald Prosser continues.
Yes, I see. Now, you've told us that the defendant, Beryl Jackson, was living with Terence Finlay as his wife.
Well, they shared the same bedroom, if that's what you mean.
That's exactly what I mean.
Well, yes, they did. I had the small bedroom.
You moved into 24 Whalley Road as a lodger.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
Well, I tried around for a few jobs. I wanted to get away. You see, I don't like being dependent on people. But employers aren't all that keen if you've got a record, and of course there's no way you can keep it from them, so I didn't get a job and so I stayed on.
Were you reluctant to do that?
Yes, I was.
Why?
Well, Beryl was a nuisance.
In what way a nuisance?
Well, she always had been keen on me, sir. It's common enough, you see, so they've got to love somebody or something. And with Beryl, it was me. You see, so they lead funny lives, locked up in rooms a lot of the time. They go funny in their head, a lot of them, you know. When they've been on a game for a long time, they get like, well, they get like unhinged, like.
You think Beryl Jackson was unhinged?
Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Or not mad, not, it's on the tip of my tongue. Certifiable, no, not like that, sir, but something. There's always something with them, sir, always.
How did this unbalanced behaviour manifest itself?
Well, after I'd been there a few weeks, sir, I tried to keep out of her way, but it wasn't easy, and then in the end we became intimate, and Terence Finlay caught us.
What happened?
Well, he just came in, sudden-like, and he caught us.
Was there a fight?
No, not this time. But there was a big round. Terence packed his things. He threatened to leave. I'd have let him go, but not Madam. You see, she'd got some of his money, but she hadn't got all of it.
I object, my lord.
Yes, Mrs. Dixon. Mr. Lotterby, your client must tell us what happened, and that is all he must do.
Yes, my lord. Do you say, as a fact, that Beryl Jackson received monies from Terence Finlay?
Oh, yes. Eventually, she got out of him every penny he had.
Now, what happened to this money?
She put it in her bank.
How do you know this?
Well, she told me. £3,000.
Did she give you any of the money?
Oh, no. You see, if she'd given me any, I'd have been off, wouldn't I? No, she kept it to herself.
Did you ask her for any?
Oh, I knew it was no good. I've known Beryl a long while back. With her, every shilling is a prisoner. You believe me, sir.
So you say that Beryl Jackson eventually had Terence Finlay's £3,000?
Every penny of it.
And then what happened?
Well, then she gave him notice to quit, didn't she? Well, the trouble was, it all went wrong from then on because he wouldn't go. He started making trouble. He talked about going to the law.
When did he talk about going to the police?
Well, on the night that he died.
Tell the court what happened.
Well, what she said was true up to a
Never
point.
mind what other people said. Just tell us what you saw and heard, and only what you saw and heard.
Yes, madam. Well, he came back from the pub well bottled, did Terry, and he goes on at Beryl about how she didn't love him and how all she wanted was his money, and she tells him to get out the next day and not the next week.
Beryl Jackson told him she wanted him out the next day.
Yeah, I felt a bit sorry for him because she had got his money. I mean, he was quite right. Beryl didn't think about anything except money. I mean, she didn't love him or anything like that. I mean, she told me so. Not that I needed telling because I could lamp. I mean, I could see the situation with my own eyes.
Just so. But what happened that evening?
Well, like I say, Terry comes home a bit bottled and he threatens to belt her one, and I tells him to stow it, and then, oh my goodness gracious, there's all this shouting and hollering, the neighbours complained, the police came.
After the police had left, what happened?
Well, then he went up to bed, and then he got up again. At least he must have done, because I went out in the back place, you see, and while I was out there, he must have got up. Probably he waited till I went out into the yard. Probably he was lying awake up there, awake.
How could he know that it was you who went out?
Oh, because I called out to Beryl when I was out there. I said, it's damn cold out here, and then I went into the carsey. That's the toilet.
What happened when you went back into the house?
Well, before I went into the house, you see, I heard all the furniture bouncing about, and then I heard Terry shout, no, don't.
You heard him shout, no, don't?
Yeah, and then I ran into the house, and there was Beryl standing over him. He was lying on the floor, and there was this damn big knife beside him. There's blood everywhere. So I said to her, I said, why did you do it? And she said, he asked for it.
What did you do then?
Well, I saw that he was dead, so I told her to go and sit down in the front room, you know, get away from things. I said, I better tell the law, so I went out and telephoned the coppers.
Did you take part in any struggle with Terence Finlay which involved that knife?
No, never, no, it was her. Yeah, she went mad. They do go mad, you know, a lot of them. It's the lives they lead. It does things to them.
You did not kill Terence Finlay and you took no part in his death?
No part whatsoever. No, it was her doing.
Thank you, Mr. Prosser.
Your fingerprints were on the murder weapon. How do you account for that?
Oh, well, I cut a bit of bread earlier. Her prints were on it as well.
Yes, I know they were. And how do you account for the blood on your clothes?
Well, because I knelt down over him to see if I could bring him round before I realised that he was a goner.
Why did you say nothing of this in your first statement to the police?
Well, people don't think of everything on these occasions, do they?
That is not an answer to the question.
Oh. Well, I mean, I didn't think of it, so...
Mr. Prosser, you had known Miss Jackson for many years. You had lived with her for several years, and by her own admission, you ponced for her. Is that correct?
Well, no, it's not quite. You see, I was a minder, not a ponce.
A minder? What is the distinction between a minder and a ponce?
Well, a ponce lives on a prossy's earnings. He lives off her, sir. But a minder, well, he sort of takes care of the place. He settles the mugs, any of the clients who get stroppy, that sort of thing, sir.
I see. And you think there is a distinction?
About £100 a week, sir.
100. Yes, I see. Yes, Mrs. Dixon.
My lord. So by your own admission, you are a man who lives by protecting prostitutes.
Yeah. Well, I was, but I've done my time, haven't I? I mean, I don't owe society nothing.
Now, as to this money, this £3,000 of Terence Finlay's, you say that Beryl Jackson had it all. Yeah. But only £2,000 was found to be in her bank account. And you say you had no part of any money of Terence Finlay's, but you are known to have lost the sum of £1,000 to local bookmakers. Now tell me, how did you get this money?
Well, I won it on the racetrack. I started with 50 quid, what Beryl give me.
I never gave him no 50 quid.
Miss Jackson, I have warned you. Now, Mrs. Dixon, if your client interrupts once again, I shall have her removed from the court.
Oh, no, please, sir. I want to stay.
What happened to this £50?
I played it up to £1,000.
You expect us to believe that?
It's true.
Well, you have a very bad record of losses, according to a previous witness, Mr. Seed.
I had a lucky streak on the course, and then what do? I'll go to the local bookies, I'll give it all back to them.
Is that what happened? Yeah. I suggest to you that she did not give you £50, but that you had £1,000, and it was given to you by the deceased whom you had persuaded to bet with you.
No, that's not true.
And I suggest that there never was any £1,000 won at the racecourses.
There was. Ask Seed.
We have asked Mr. Seed.
Well, that's what happened, anyway.
Is it? Did you not have £1,000 from Terence Finlay? And didn't you throw it away to bookmakers, as you always have all your life?
No, that's not true, madam.
Now, you say that Miss Jackson was in love with you.
Well, what passes for love with them?
Thank you. I need no more of that. Did you ever ask Beryl Jackson for money?
Never.
But you say she gave you £50.
Ah, she gave. I didn't ask.
You'll be telling me next that you've never taken money from a woman in your life.
Only what I earned.
You lived on women for years, and you say that a sum of £3,000 was being bandied about? Do you really expect us to believe that you didn't try and get your hands on any of it?
Well, there was no chance of that. Terry was her mug, and she was going to keep him to herself.
Now, as to the murder, I put it to you that you got into a row with the dead man, and that a fight ensued, and that despite efforts by Beryl Jackson to prevent it, you killed him with that knife.
Never.
And that after his death, Beryl Jackson went into a state of shock, and you took instant advantage by going out and telephoning the police and telling them that she had committed the murder.
I told them the truth.
Mr. Prosser, you came straight to Beryl Jackson's house from Strangeways Jail. Would you like to tell us what sentence you were serving?
4 years.
For what offence?
I don't think I have to tell them that, do I?
But I will. Grievous bodily harm. He nearly killed us.
Silence
fella.
in court.
That's why he was in strange ways.
Silence in court.
Remove the prisoner Jackson to the cells.
Oh, no. No, he mustn't. Just tell him not to lie. That's all.
Miss Jackson, I am only allowing you back into the court to hear the rest of the evidence in this case because of the entreaties of your counsel, and because of the guarantee given on your behalf by Mrs. Dixon that there will be no more behavior of the kind that forced me to take the action that I did. Now, are you going to behave yourself?
Yes, sir.
Do I have your absolute assurance that you will remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Yes, Mrs. Dixon.
I have only a few more questions to ask this witness, my lord. We've heard that you were serving a prison sentence for grievous bodily harm immediately before you went to 24 Worley Road to ask Beryl Jackson for aid. You say that she received you warmly.
Oh, so she did, Mum.
I suggest to you that she was simply sorry for you.
Well, Beryl was never sorry for anybody in her life. They lose all them sort of feelings.
Oh, yes. These unfortunate women become unbalanced.
Well, pardon me, Mum, and you've just seen for yourself, haven't you?
You've seen Beryl Jackson upset before?
Oh, yes.
Often?
Well, often enough for my liking. She used to go into all sorts of rages when we were together before.
What were these rages usually about?
Oh, all sorts of things.
Were they ever about money?
Sometimes.
Is it not a fact that she once put the police onto you in Manchester when you ran away with a considerable sum of money belonging to her?
Well, that was a mistake.
Is it not also a fact that when you were apprehended, you were seen to be carrying a weapon, a knife?
Yes.
And did the police bring a charge against you of carrying a weapon with intent?
No, they dropped the charge.
After Beryl Jackson had intervened on your behalf?
Well, they dropped it, that's
Do you
all I know.
always carry a knife on your person?
No, never.
Or don't people of your profession always carry a knife?
No.
Would you feel repugnance were you to pick up a knife in argument, or would you not feel quite at home with one in your hand?
Steady on. Now, listen, I
Object
don't...
most strongly to the insinuation my learned friend is making.
Oh, I think Mrs. Dixon was entitled to ask that question. Go on, Mrs. Dixon.
I have no further questions, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Golding.
Members of the jury, After my learned friend's pertinent cross-examination of each other's witnesses, I shall endeavour to make my own case as brief as possible. The case is a simple one. I suggest that the defendants were jointly engaged in the fleecing of the unfortunate Terence Finlay of £3,000 life savings that he had in his bank in account. And I further suggest that the £3,000 was divided between the two principals in the proportion of £2,000 to Beryl Jackson and £1,000 to Gerald Prosser. You will remember the 4 deposits of £500 in Miss Jackson's account. And you will also remember the £1,000 known to have been lost in the betting shops by Gerald Prosser. In consequence of this fleecing, a row began between Terence Finlay on the one hand and Gerald Prosser and Beryl Jackson on the other, over first the fleecing of this unfortunate mug, as he's been called, and second, over the obvious intention of Beryl Jackson to discard the unfortunate Terence Finlay like an old glove, in the words he himself used at the Farringdon Arms. Now consider, ladies and gentlemen, the past history of these two defendants. I'm able to ask you to do this because, unusually, their past has been admitted in evidence. But such revelations are not forthcoming purely out of frankness, as my learned friends would have you believe. Now, I suggest that Beryl Jackson told the court of her past because, and only because, she had no other way of accounting for the sudden possession of £2,000 in her bank account. Now, she would have us think that the £2,000 was the proceeds of her street walking in Manchester some years ago. But was it? There's no evidence of this. And is she a credible witness? Do you believe her when she says that she took no money from Terence Finlay, an older man who was plainly infatuated by her? Do you believe her when she says that she took Gerald Prosser into her home out of pity after he came out of Strangeways jail? Now, I suggest she took Gerald Prosser into her house because they were birds of a feather. They had lived together before as man and wife. She had recently visited him in jail, and Prosser had been her ponce or minder or whatever. They had been partners for many years. So, let us then come to Gerald Prosser. Now, Gerald Prosser has a police record for living on immoral earnings. Gerald Prosser has a police record and has served a sentence for grievous bodily harm. Gerald Prosser is a born and incurable gambler. And his story that he won the £1,000 that he admits to having had in his possession at the time on the race courses is completely unsupported by any witnesses and has been most ably demolished by my learned friend, Mrs. Dixon. So, what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? We have two people of known bad character come together in a plot to defraud an innocent, foolish, and infatuated man of his life savings. They do so. There is a row. A fight ensues, and together, and I emphasize that word, together they kill him. And then, when the deed is done, the defendant, Beryl Jackson, who, as the court has seen, is a person of unstable temperament, to say the least, when the deed is done, Beryl Jackson is reduced to a state of nervous shock. And her partner, Gerald Prosser, taking advantage of this, thinking only of himself, as we see from his lifestyle he always has, Gerald Prosser then telephones the police and lays information that Beryl Jackson has alone and unaided committed this murder. But the fingerprints on the knife, the blood on the clothes of both defendants, is extra proof of their complicity. They have both admitted that they were in the house, or in the yard, as Prosser insists, when the murder took place. They were both there. Now, that is the point. Their stories conflict, but is this surprising? One or both of them killed Terence Finlay. And I suggest both of them received monies, and both bear equal guilt in this matter. And I therefore ask you to return a verdict of guilty of murder against both defendants.
Mrs. Dixon.
My lord. Members of the jury, you have heard Miss Jackson admit in evidence that she has been a prostitute, but I would ask you not to let this colour your judgment. Now, let us look at the facts of the case. The prosecution has confidently asserted that Miss Jackson received £2,000 from the dead man Terence Finlay. But there is not a shred of evidence to support this. My client has freely admitted at great embarrassment to herself, just exactly where that £2,000 that she placed in her bank account had come from. It had come from the proceeds of her former life, a life which she had, she hoped, managed to live down. And indeed she would have done so, had not Gerald Prosser, ever her evil genius, come once again into her life. By his own admission, he had come straight from prison to her doorstep, and as she herself said, she felt pity for him and took him in. Well, this turned out to be a misplaced generosity, because had she not taken him in, she would not be facing a serious criminal charge here today. This man took advantage of her again, as he'd so often taken advantage of her in the past. He had lived on her in the past. What more likely than that he would want to live on her again? Gerald Prosser and Terence Finlay argued about football, about money, about, as my client has testified, everything. But basically about who should have the affection of Beryl Jackson. To Terence Finlay, she was a dear friend. To Gerald Prosser, she was a meal ticket. And so in the end, the fight of which my client has spoken took place. Gerald Prosser and Terence Finlay were at grips, and Beryl Jackson tried to separate them, hence the blood on her dress. She failed, and Terence Finlay died. And when Beryl Jackson went into a state of shock at the sight of her friend lying dead on her kitchen floor, perfectly normal reaction, I would have thought, members of the jury, Gerald Prosser took full advantage and told the police that she had killed Terence Finlay. Now, members of the jury, ask yourselves, why should she do this? Terence Finlay had lived at her house a considerable time. She had asked him to leave, but that is no offense in law. She had taken no money from Terence Finlay. She had no reason to fear him. She had a good life now. Why should she put it at risk? The answer is that she did not. The guilty party was Gerald Prosser, and you must find my client not guilty.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Lotterby.
My lord, members of the jury, it will not have escaped your notice that it was Gerald Prosser who telephoned the police immediately after he discovered the body. It was Gerald Prosser who waited for the police constable to arrive. It was Gerald Prosser who took the police constable to the scene of the crime. And you will have noted that the police constable told us that Gerald Prosser was heard to say, "I don't know what came over her. I don't know what came over her." Now, members of the jury, were these the actions of a guilty man? True, there are some pieces of evidence that could be interpreted as pointing to his guilt. His fingerprints were found on the kitchen knife, the murder weapon, and some traces of the deceased's blood was found on his clothing. But then the prints of all three occupants of the house, including the deceased, were found on that kitchen knife. It was, after all, used by them to cut bread. And anyone going to the assistance of the victim of a stabbing is likely to find some traces of blood on his clothes. Now, members of the jury, neither of these points constitute evidence of guilt, a fact recognized by the police, for it was not until 1 month after the murder that Gerald Prosser was arrested. And what was the reason for his sudden arrest? Well, Inspector Buzzard has told us that it had been discovered that Gerald Prosser had been gambling heavily and had lost £1,000. Well, obviously, Detective Inspector Buzzard thought that this was strong enough evidence to arrest my client, but is it enough to convict him? Is there any reason to doubt his story that he had won the money at the races? We have heard from the gambler, Mr. Seed, that he has always known him to have money to play the horses. There is certainly no proof that he obtained the money from the dead man. Indeed, members of the jury, there is no proof that Gerald Prosser murdered Terence Finlay, and you must find him not guilty.
Thank you. Members of the jury, there are three alternatives in this case, and you should consider each one of them separately. First, that Beryl Jackson murdered the deceased. Second, that Gerald Prosser murdered the deceased. And thirdly, that Jackson and Prosser jointly murdered the deceased. Prosecution must prove their case beyond all reasonable doubt. Now, it is possible, when you have considered all the evidence, that you may come to the conclusion that this murder was not the result of a concerted action, but that it was done by one of the accused acting singly. The question would then be Which of the accused? You would have to be sure which of them it was. Because even if you were sure that it was one of them, but there is a reasonable doubt as to which of them, you would have to acquit them both. I ask you now to retire, please, and consider your verdicts.
All stand. Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached verdicts upon which you are all agreed?
Yes.
Do you find the defendant, Beryl Jackson, guilty or not guilty of the murder of Terence Finlay?
Guilty.
Is that the verdict of you all?
Yes.
Do you find the defendant, Gerald Prosser, guilty or not guilty of the murder of Terence Finlay?
Guilty.
Is that the verdict of you all?
Yes.
Mr. Justice Mitchener sentenced Gerald Prosser and Beryl Jackson to life imprisonment for the murder of Terence Finlay. Join us next week when our cameras return and the jury assess the facts in another leading case in the Crown Court.